Happy New Year! I am Kamau Kujichagulia. This is On the Case with Kamau Kujichagulia, where each week, especially in this new year, 2024, we're going to bring you some very interesting and people who have their concerns, their loves, their hearts, their labors uh, intertwined with the community here in Trenton, New Jersey, nationally and internationally. So they're here to help us. Okay, so that's what we're mainly interested in. So like I said, I wish you all a very happy 2024. Let me bring Michael in here for a minute. Son,
Hey, Pop, what's
how
going
are
on?
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm very good.
All
It's a
right.
good day. I don't know why, but it's a good day. And happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year to you also.
2024. This year, I hope things get better than they have been for all these years prior to this. You know,
Nope. I hope so too.
but I was out looking first. Let me put a picture up here first. That's my boy,
Reverend Steele.
and I got to pay homage to him in 2024 too. You know what I mean?
Reverend Steele.
That's my boy. You know, so
Like
um,
that. I really did like that man.
yeah, he was all right. He put up with me. Shit, anybody put up with me is all right. This is Cowwater Park. No, we've been talking about Cowwater Park for a long time. Don't forget to don't remind me to talk about trucks, all right? Because I'll forget that. I forgot that last week. Anyway, that was Cowwater Park a couple months ago, and this is Cowwater Park now. Now I should have. Damn, I didn't bring that picture in. Anyway, they did that. They did all this wall. And they
hmm
did see they put in the drains and everything. And see up here,
Okay.
going up the path, they put in pipes so that water would drain down into the drains, which is good. Which is good. However, what has happened is now this is back out on the street, up back on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
They got water leaking from underneath that wall somewhere, and
Holla.
I'm sure they hadn't counted on that happening. You know, so
Yeah.
I hopefully they're back in engineering trying to figure that out. Got your engineers trying to figure out what to do with that water because it goes down below freezing every night now.
Icy.
Yeah. So
Icy.
that little bit of water is going to be a skating rink every morning.
Yeah, that's not a little bit of that won't be a little bit of ice.
Right. Right. That's dangerous, And of course, it's right
That'll
next to the
be
street.
that'll
When our kids are walking down there, they slip, they fall, they may fall out into the street, get hit by a car. We got a fatality. Everybody's sad, and that's bullshit. When all they have to do is fix it.
right, right.
You know what I
They
mean?
take Pop, they taken care of.
Okay, they may very well be. I don't know. I don't know. I
But
hope so.
but that's an issue in and of itself.
Yes, it is. It really is. So I'm just going. I want to stay on top of this. I want everybody, keep checking this out because it's our kids. It's our kids, and this is 2024. We always keep saying that our greatest resource is our children. Well, let them take care of your greatest resource.
Exactly.
That's all I'm
Exactly.
saying to them. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly.
So I just wanted to get that in. Now, let me show you something else.
What else you got for us?
Let me show you. Let me see where that other picture go. What's that? No, that ain't it. Boom.
And what's that?
Look. Oh, I wish I could enlarge it. But if you look, you see there's two cameras down here hanging down. Then you
hmm
go up, there's a camera there. Then you go further, there's a camera up there. Okay. This is on the corner of Hoffman and Stuyvesant, where multiple killings have occurred.
hmm
So the police are using technology to try to calm that area down a little bit. It took them long enough.
Right.
No, of course, I don't know how long these things been there, but however long, it took them
They-
long enough.
They've been putting them around the city for about the past year. They've been popping up. There's one on Hermitage, and I think that's Hermitage and Carteret. There's one over there on San Hecan by the right by the corner store.
Right, like this?
Just like that
Oh,
on the pole, and they got cameras at the top,
okay.
and they got the little lights going also.
No. That's what with the little generator down the bottom, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I know that. But this is permanent. This isn't a mobile unit.
Oh.
You know what I mean? No.
Okay.
This is permanent. Hi, Dave.
I'm gonna go out there tomorrow and check it out.
And then this is across the street, okay, from the other one. So they got these cameras, in hopefully, in high crime areas. You got to become innovative. You can't just do what you've been doing because you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting.
Right.
And they had several killings up there. I remember one young lady got killed up there.
The day, I think it was the day I got home from California in 2019. Me and you drove past and got out the car and everything, and there was a young man laid out on the street.
Yep.
Right out in front of that corner store at Hoffman.
Yep. Come on, we got to do better. This is 2024.
2024.
So we got to do better.
All right.
If our children are our greatest asset, our greatest resource, we got to treat it better.
We got to treat it better. That goes for the city and that goes for us too.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So that's I had to get those pictures in. Now, I don't want to forget talking about these trucks. Cause what's that song? They don't die, they just multiply. You ever heard that?
I've heard the saying before. I don't know about the song.
Something, I think, maybe it's a ditty. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Something. They don't die, they just multiply. See, that's what happens with these damn trucks parked illegally on our streets. They multiply. Now, over on Southeast Field, there used to be one truck. Oh, let me get rid of this. Okay, there used to be one truck. Now there's two trucks parked out there. There was one. There is one right on West 8th Street. I went by it the other day and they had a ticket on it. Now I don't know whether the police put it on there or the owner put it on there to make the police think that he already got a ticket. You never know. Right. I used to do that when I was younger. Okay, but anyway,
I never did that.
I know you wouldn't. You wouldn't do nothing like that. You wasn't raised like that, son. You wasn't raised like that. Right. That's right. Okay. So, and then down by where Edgewood comes into to West 8th Street, where there used to be one truck, now there's three trucks parked up in. Oh, man, where the Nubian News used to be. Okay. Well, that little plot right there. Now there are three trucks, two on that plot and one in the back out on Edgewood on the street. So they don't die.
They multiply. Yep.
And these are illegal parkings. And they make the neighborhood look bad.
They make the neighborhood look bad, and they also take up parking.
That's true.
You got an 18-wheeler out there. That's 4 parking spaces.
That's right.
In a community that needs parking spaces. So I understand.
That's right. And it's against the law to park trucks overnight on city streets. It's against the law. And some of these trucks have been out there for months. I mean months. Police ride by I don't know how many times, and they're still there. Let's get rid of these damn trucks off our streets. I'm sorry, truckers.
Because there's two sides to that.
Yeah, I know.
They got families. They got to take care of themselves.
But, you knew that. You knew that when you got into it. You knew it, and you you take care of what you got to take care of, but you can't be messing us up because you want the convenience of having your truck parked close to your home. Okay? I'm sorry. Not really, but you know. Okay, who we got on here? Brother Akil Parker, right?
Yes.
I heard he teach. No, let me bring him on. Bring him on, Sean. Hi, Sean. Hi, Sean. Oh, wait a minute. Brother Akil, before I talk with you, hi, Dana. Dr. Dana. How are you down there in Alabama? Oh, Alabama lost, didn't they?
How you doing, cuz? It's good to see you. Love you.
Yeah, I don't like college football that much. I don't like football all that much, but I like to see Alabama lose. And I know that's your team, and I'm sorry that they lost. Now I ain't So we got what's the other comment? Let me see what the other comment is. Dana, I'm good. Robin Harris. When talking oh, okay. They don't die, they multiply. Okay. Okay. That's
Yeah,
right.
Bebe's kids.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's what it is. See, she's a wealth of knowledge. Every time we get stuck with something, Dr. Dana will always come up
Right.
with the answer for us. That's good. Anyway, my brother, Akil Parker, how are you? Happy New Year.
I'm doing good. I'm maintaining. I did have some dental work earlier today. I had a tooth extraction this morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm recovering from that, but it could be a lot worse.
Okay.
Thank you for showing up,
Nobody
brother.
mess with your face. Yeah. Eh? Yeah. You look like you too young to be having teeth coming out your mouth. Eh?
Well, it's a lesson in the ills of procrastination, because I procrastinated in getting some wisdom teeth pulled out that I didn't get pulled out till 2019, but then that caused some damage in one of the teeth that was in front of the wisdom teeth that had a deep cavity in it, so I had to get that taken out. Couldn't even fix it. Couldn't salvage it.
Yeah, I'm going through the same thing, brother. I got holes in my mouth right now that I got to get taken care of.
Yeah. So like they say, if you ignore your teeth, they will go away.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, buddy. And I tell you from experience, take care of your teeth. You don't want to lose your teeth. Lord knows you want to lose. But it's hard to chew on one side. Huh?
I'm actually looking for a dentist right now. Like, I need a good dentist.
There's one right on West State Street, right on the corner of West State and Parkway. Parkside.
State and Parkside.
As you go by West State, coming right up to the light, there's a big tooth standing up in his yard.
Okay.
And
I know what you're talking about.
Huh?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I was going to check him out, but my I already go to another one. I go to one out in Pennington, Indian Lady.
But Mr. Parker, all this math.
Yeah. It's a movement.
What do you mean it's a movement?
It's a movement. So what I mean by that is I'm attempting to rebrand mathematics. So all this math is about a lot of things. It's about rebranding mathematics and improving the relationship that the Black community has with math.
Well, wait a minute. Before you go on with that, tell us a little about who you are and where you come from, and you got
Who
any
is
kids?
Akil Parker?
Well, a father of three, a son, an uncle, a teacher, a student. I've been teaching high school math for the past 18 years. Started out teaching in different charter schools in Philly, in Philly, and then I also taught for a couple of traditional public schools in Philly. I taught at Overbrook for a couple of years, taught at Central for 1 year. I left the traditional classroom setting in Philly because I realized that I wasn't really going to be able to do what needed to be done, in the way that it needed to be done, and the way I needed to do it, under those confines. So I wanted to increase my reach and, be able to, do some other things and, provide education direct, to the students and to the community. So, but I was also teaching at Cheney. So I'm also a college professor, adjunct professor at Cheney. Been at Cheney since 2019. I also taught at LaSalle.
You?
Yeah. The first HBCU, but
What'd you say?
The first HBCU.
Okay. I'm gonna bring that up again later, but go ahead.
Yeah, the people from Lincoln, claim to be first. That's just friendly beef. But but I've been teaching at Cheney since 2019. I also taught at LaSalle University. Always teaching math methods. Basically teaching education majors how to teach math and how to understand math, how to relate it, to the young people. And I specialized in the so-called new math, the Common Core math, or the different methods of understanding mathematics that we might not have been taught 30, 40, 50 years ago. Like a lot of the stuff that I'm teaching these education majors now, I didn't learn these methods when I was in elementary school myself, and I had learned them back then, because then I would have had a better conceptual understanding of math instead of just being able to memorize formulas and algorithms and procedures and whatnot. And I would have did better on a lot of the standardized tests, because a lot of the standardized tests, they test you even 30 years ago. They were testing you on your conceptual understanding and not just whether you could just, figure out the answer by just, plugging in a formula or whatnot. So yeah, I'm just a person that, overall, I'm just very concerned about, the Black community. I love our people. Like Martin Delaney said, I thank God he made me a Black man, and I just want to play my part, and help the community. And my way of doing that, my life's work, is by teaching math to the people and also showing them how math is really a tool for liberation. Even though it might not be presented like that in most math classrooms, it's just like, it's just another class for you to take so you can get a certain type of job. But to me, it's much bigger than just getting a job. It's really about critical thinking ability, problem solving skills. We all got problems as human beings. We're always going to have problems. Life's never going to be perfect, but you want to know how to identify problems and solve problems. And no matter what it is, the same skills that you develop in a math class when you're solving different types of math problems, that's a transferable skill. You can apply that in any situation. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. So that's why they say things like, math is irrelevant, or, we should just get rid of math classes and replace them with personal finance classes and, this, that, and the third. But really, you can't do personal finance without algebra anyway. So I don't know how that would work. But but yeah, so that's, I guess, in a nutshell, that's a brief synopsis of who I am,
Where'd you grow up? What school, what college did you go to?
So I was born in New York, but I grew up and spent my formative years in Baltimore. So I'm really from Baltimore, even though I've been in Philly for the last 20 years. As an adult, I've spent my adult life here in Philly, but I grew up in Baltimore, went to Roland Park Elementary and Middle School, went to Poly. Anybody from Baltimore is very familiar with those institutions.
What part of Baltimore is that?
Where Poly is?
Or where you grew up? What side did you grow up? Because I know Baltimore through the wire, of course.
Okay. That's how a lot of people know Baltimore. So I didn't grow up in those communities. I grew up in the northeast section of Baltimore, right? Over by Morgan State, over by where Morgan is. I would say that community is like comparable to like a West Oak Lane, the neighborhood right around Morgan State. Yeah, kind of like upper middle class, community.
Got you.
Working class at the same time. But yeah, so that's so it's not like, it's not really like The Wire. I mean, it's got its pockets. Baltimore is a lot like Philly. I think that's why I fit into Philly so well when I moved out here back in 2003 after I graduated from Morgan, because Baltimore Philly in many ways like a bigger Baltimore, double the population, the similar beautiful aspects of it, similar challenges, just right. More, just like Baltimore times 2, but that's what makes it cool. I think that's why people from Baltimore can come to Philly and have a good time. People from Philly can go to Baltimore and have a good time. Because
let me get back to this math. Now, I was talking to my granddaughter. I was helping her with her math. I guess it was yesterday. And she had come up against this problem. I think it said something about the associative property. And I was telling her, I said, math is just like basically any other subject. It has its own language. It's like its own language. You got to learn the language. If you don't know the language, then you can't work out the problem. What do you think about that?
I think you're absolutely right. I second that motion. I tell students all the time. Matter of fact, some students I was teaching today, I work with a homeschool, an online school actually, based in Atlanta called the II Institute, run by Baba Wakesa and Mama Afia Mazimoyo, based in Atlanta. And I teach a SAT prep course with them. And, we're going over SAT problem. And, I was explaining to this young sister and actually the whole class, like, you got to translate this. You know what I'm saying? This, you got to read it. And because it's in English language, but your job is to translate it into mathematical language. And then now you have an equation and you can solve that equation. Once you solve the equation, now you'll have an answer, but you gotta know the language. You got to know what this phrase means. You got to know what this word means. Is that is that the same thing as an equal sign? Is that the same thing as a plus sign? Is that the same thing as a minus sign? These are things you got to know. Just like if you were studying like Kiswahili or, Arabic or Yoruba or any like spoken language, math is really the same thing. And I think if we start to embrace that, then that'll make the math a lot easier, because a lot of the issues is like what you mentioned. Their breakdowns and just, the understanding of the vocabulary, just fundamentally, like, because if you say, like a lot of times we as math teachers, we do a bad job sometimes because we take that for granted because we use these terms all the time and we kind of throw it loosely and we just assume that children know what we're talking about and they don't be knowing what we're talking about. And even things that they should know, but they sometimes don't know them. They might not know what a factor is or a multiple is or what the associative property is, and these are all like, very helpful things, but you got to know what they are in order to be able to, really attempt to do some of these problems and get the correct answers and whatnot. So, yeah. So I definitely agree with that. That's, when I get on my soapbox, talking about math and math instruction, that's definitely one of the things I say all the time. It's a language. We got to treat it like it's a language.
Okay. Now, I've talked to people who are, mathematicians, or when I was in school or talking to professors or whatever, and they say that the higher up in mathematics that you go, the easier it gets. What do you think about that?
You mean as a practice? Easier,
as a subject, like
easier to do or easier to teach?
I don't know. Easier to do, easier to deal with.
I mean, I think that has some validity because, a lot of what happens is the more and more math you do, and as you get to successively higher levels, you gain more and more muscle memory. There's just like with sports or just like with physical movement, there's a muscle memory involved in doing mathematics. Like, because, a lot of times, like there are problems that I've been doing for like certain types of problems I've been doing since like, maybe the last 30 years almost. So when I see them on paper, I just start doing them and I don't even think about what I'm doing, but then at the same time, like a lot of times I kind of do have the habit. Most of the time I will think about what I'm doing because I'm usually in teacher mode. And as teachers, we can't really do that. So I don't think it's a good habit because sometimes when you get so used to doing that, you end up like a lot of college professors, which are very skilled at the content and they have mastery of the content, but they're not thinking about it in terms of, well, how do I show this person that doesn't have my skill set, that doesn't have my level of understanding? So I can see what they mean. Especially, I'm assuming like when you get into like the graduate level math courses, like topology and like commutative algebra and the different, higher level mathematics, differential equations. And these are all classes that I've never taken. So I would like to at some point pursue a PhD in mathematics. I don't have a math degree. I got a finance degree in undergrad. And I never intended to become a teacher. I kind of became a teacher because I had a baby on the way and I needed a job. And I didn't want to just have my child. I didn't want her to be I didn't want her to have to carry the baby and be the breadwinner.
Right. You gotta do what you gotta do.
So
you didn't get your degree in mathematics.
No, I didn't. I got my degree in finance. I initially wanted to be either an investment banker or equities trader, something like that. I ended up as a bank examiner. I did that for a year. That's one of the reasons I moved to Philly, because I got a job in Delaware back in 2004, and that wasn't a good fit. I was about to get fired, but instead I resigned so that I wouldn't have a termination on my record. You know, the brother kind of kicked it to me. He was the supervisor, kicked it to me like, you know, you should resign because then in case you want to get another government job, you won't have that blemish on your record. But if I'd have knew then what I knew now, I think I'd have let them fire me because then I might have been able to sue or something, you know, because I didn't get the support that I was supposed to get. I was a trainee, but I was just kind of throwing out there, you know, sink or swim. That was my experience. But you know, you live and you learn. But
we all been in those situations, man.
Yeah, but it was, you know, it was cool because then I ended up teaching, substitute teaching, which led to, you know, teaching for real. Yeah, so since I've been teaching since 2005, but yeah, I would like to, you know, one day get a PhD, pursue a PhD in the higher level mathematics, because when you really start to like really study the math, like I said, it's like I see so many parallels between like social relationships and social sciences and social science applications and math concepts. So, you know, as I'm doing problems and I'm thinking about them more deeply, and I'm thinking about like race relations, I'm thinking about, neo-colonialism, and I'm thinking about like, you know, how, you know, resources are being allocated to certain groups and not being allocated to other groups. And I'm thinking about how to, you know, solve different types of equations as I'm doing them. I'm just imagining that the higher and higher you go, you get to see the keys and the expressions of a lot more of the stuff that goes on, you know, all around us. And I actually about this I'll let you go ahead.
Well, so then math does start with critical thinking in other subjects.
Oh, definitely does. It's the key to all that, and I believe that. So I believe that there's a huge it's a con game going on. Like Malcolm used to say, it's the same game going on all the time. I think the whole reason that like a lot of us are conditioned, and it's like kind of generally accepted in the society and in the community. So many people think math is so hard. So many people think math is irrelevant. It's a con game because the more you think that, then you're going to run away from math, right? You're going to run away from it. And then all those opportunities. I mean, even if you just look at the labor aspect, let's not even talk about like tools of liberation and trying to get free and trying to embrace your full humanity. Let's just talk about somebody that's trying to get a job. I'm just trying to get a job. I want to be able to provide for food, clothing, and shelter for myself and my family, you know, live comfortably, maybe go out, you know, experience some entertainment, whatever, take some trips, travel, whatever. So let's say, you know, all these jobs that require a strong STEM background and you require a strong foundation in mathematics. So let's say you train and condition millions and millions of people to just think the one thing that's going to lead you to that is too hard, unattainable, irrelevant. And then people get into the, you know, the arrogant thing where they're like, man, that subject's stupid anyway. Don't nobody need to learn that, right? To try to, you know, protect their ego. Then the ego's self-defense mechanisms kick in. When you start saying stuff like, you know, math is irrelevant anyway. Why we gotta learn this? You know? So then it's like all this millions of people that now it's like, oh, well, no, you can't be a computer engineer. Or the people that don't have that mentality and they have a strong math foundation and a math background, they're going to be competing to become computer engineers, architects, doctors, computer scientists, physicians, all these different STEM applications, oceanographers, chemists, experts in like quantum physics and all this type of stuff. So now they got less competition. It's not as many people in their lane or on the playing field because a whole bunch of other people, millions of people got conditioned from a young age. Math is too hard. Math is stupid. Math don't make no sense. Why I got to learn this?
They don't hear that.
You know? So it's all a con game. I think it's a con game. We see it in the media. We see it on TV shows, movies. We hear it in rap songs. This whole propaganda to drop away from math. It's the same game they do with Africa. Like you know, Malcolm again talking about Africa. Like you know, they cannibals. They swinging from trees. You know, the whole African booty scratch.
They live in huts.
They wanted to get us to not want to go there because that's where all the resources is at, and that's our homeland. So it's like once we become alienated because we feel like we shouldn't want to be there because of all the propaganda, then it leaves it wide open for them to go over there. So the Europeans can go over there and get everything. The Asians can go over there and get everything. The Arabs can go get everything because they convinced us that we shouldn't want to go there. So they're doing the same thing with math. They've been doing the same thing with math. they convince us math is too hard, it's irrelevant, it's useless, it's unattainable. So now the other people that don't believe that, or the children of those people that don't believe that, they sitting back, at a young age doing algebra, learning calculus, so they can, be able to, go do certain things and have certain opportunities. I think about this concept of, like, when I hear parents say things like, why does my child need to learn this? Why does my child need to learn that? And that makes me sad, because then I think about asymmetrical warfare, right? Because I believe that when you do that, you're setting your children up for asymmetrical warfare on the losing side, when you're on the weak side of that. Because if you ever think about, like, what does a person with a math or PhD in math do usually for a job? A lot of people with math PhDs, they're working for the government at high levels. They got high security clearances. They might be working for the NSA or CIA or something. They might be working in corporate America, but in a think tank or something, or they might be responsible for coming up with formulas that dictate, how our lives are going to be set up, and all these things that's going to affect our everyday lives. So you mean to tell me what we're actually doing by trying to discourage our children from taking more math is we're saying, okay, well, the people that do know a whole lot of math, they're able to work in ways and in spaces where they actually dictate and control all of our lives. So then when you have the opportunity for your child to be able to know just as much as those people know, then you discourage that and you say, nah, you don't need to know all that. So now, again, that's where the asymmetrical warfare comes into play. Because now these people, if we liken this and use the analogy of a war, these people got bazookas, B-52 bomber jets, and all that type of stuff. Now your kids, it's like, well, all they need to know how to do is basic arithmetic. So now your kids going up to war with them with a knife, with a pocket knife. And these people got B-52 bombers, tanks, and rockets, and all types of stuff, because they know that high-level math, and they working in those spaces. And for the government entities and the corporations that are dictating and prescribing the experiences of all of us are going to have, because they control the institutions, not just in this country, but all across the world. So I would think that if we understand and look at the world that way, and look at math as a tool in that way, then we should really want for our children to learn as much math as possible, because the people that are really controlling the world and controlling all of our actions and deciding what we're able to do, where we're able to work, where we're able to go, what we're able to eat, what we're able to buy, what we're able to experience, all these types of things. They control our Wi-Fi, control our entertainment, control our Netflix streaming services, all that type of stuff. These are like math PhDs that are coming up with all this stuff. So, you want for your children to be able to be on par, be on the same level, with the people calling the shots.
Now, you said that you were working with a school down in Atlanta. Is that an independent Black institute?
Yeah, it's an independent African-centered institution called the AYA Institute, AYA. You can find them on Facebook. The AYA Institute. Anybody's interested,
AYA?
Yeah, AYA, the AYA Institute.
And would you teach math?
Yeah, I teach a SAT prep class.
Okay.
That's the math side, though. I don't do the verbal SAT or the reading or the writing, but yeah, I teach math SAT prep with them twice a week. Okay.
And do you have your own particular program?
So, well, what do you mean by that? You mean like hystematics?
Yes. Like, is it something that you have your own? Did you teach math any particular way that you have a program set up for it? Like, is all this math an actual program?
Yeah, I mean, we offer tutoring, we offer individual tutoring, we offer small group tutoring, and my methods are very much culturally relevant or culturally specific. I'm always about just connecting math to the experience of the learner anyway, and especially connecting it to history, since that's something I'm just naturally very interested in anyway. And that's how my classrooms, my formal brick and mortar classrooms, when I'm teaching in person, that's how they set up. Always trying to connect like Asada Shakur to a math lesson, connect Paul Robeson, connect, anybody, because that's another thing. Like, I want there to be like a storytelling aspect connected to the math lessons whenever possible. Because one of the benefits of that is it's easier to remember. you know, when there's like a story connected to, well, I mean, that's with anything, you know, not just math, but with anything, but definitely with math, like, because, you know, it's so many formulas in math, there's so many algorithms, and it's easy to forget, it's easy to confuse them. But if you can connect it to like a story about, like, you know, maybe the personal history of like a figure like a Malcolm X or Dr. King, you know, then it makes it, you know, easier to remember. And then you kind of can, you know, we're also decompartmentalizing education because, you know, we're learning the history. That's what histomatics essentially is. We're learning history and mathematics at the same time. And we're using history in order to teach mathematics, and we're using mathematics to teach history at the same time. And it's a way that the thing I like the most about that approach is it's a way to provide political education. The same way that, you know, the Black Panther Party was trying to do with their free breakfast program, is provide political education to the young people. And, you know, you can use those math concepts to really expose a lot of things that go on. So, because that's, you know, that's what our children need. And also, you know, we can promote, like, you know, different, you know, Black nationalist figures that they're not going to learn about in school. And I don't expect them to learn about in school, because if they learned about them in school, then the school wouldn't be what it is. I mean, we know what the school is. We know what the public schools are. We know what the charter schools are, because we know who controls them. So since we know who controls them, we shouldn't really expect anything different than what we get in them. So the responsibility is really on us to, you know, provide our children with what they actually need. And, you know, and it's easy to say that, but that's why I also like to provide resources, tangible resources, you know. So that's why, while I say, yeah, we got to basically teach our own children if we want to prepare them for the future. So that's why I started the YouTube channel. You know, the YouTube channel is an online resource, a free resource. We got
what is this YouTube channel?
So the YouTube channel is called All This Math, just like the company, All This Math. And, you know, I got pre-recorded, you know, lessons basically on all levels of math, going from arithmetic for, like, you know, young children, kindergarten age, pre-K age, all the way up to Calculus 1. So we got 700 videos right now. And, you know, we're adding more, you know, on a regular basis. And, you know, I want the channel to become a household name and a place for, like, any parents that want to help their children with the homework to be able to go and, you know, get some, you know, a tutorial. I want the children to be able to go in there and get help with their homework or do their test prep or whatever they're trying to do. And even teachers. I want teachers to be able to go in there and have a resource. So, and then, you know, it's like that's culturally relevant too, because you'll come on there and you'll see me, like, I might be doing a lesson on solving quadratic equations, but then I got some HBCU sweatshirt on. And, like, my hope is that people will be able to look back and say, you know, I went to this brother's channel and I learned how to do this topic that I didn't really understand when my teacher explained it in class. And he had the Fisk University sweatshirt on, or he had a Cheney University sweatshirt on. And I never heard of them schools. So then I ended up looking into them schools, and I ended up going to that school because I saw that brother's video and he had the sweatshirt on, he had the hoodie on or whatnot.
Heathcliff Huxtable.
Yeah, exactly. How I used to do. Or maybe I might have had a Thomas Sankara t-shirt on. You know, you're not gonna learn about Thomas Sankara in school. That's not gonna happen. Or I might have had a, you know, Maurice Bishop or Frantz Fanon. I might have a Frantz Fanon t-shirt or a Walter Rodney t-shirt. You're definitely not learning about them in school, and that's by design. You know, nothing to really. I don't really cry about that. I just say, okay, cool. Like, if the school is not going to teach them, then I'm gonna teach them. I'm gonna teach them about these people. So I got the platform, so I'm gonna use my platform for that. And
Systematics.
Exactly. That's
Systematics.
So you get a little bit of history in the beginning of the video. You know, you see the person's, you know, the picture of them and their name, and then you're gonna learn some math at the same time. Because I think that's really a large issue for us, is that there's a lot of nonsense, you know, in the media, and there's a lot of, you know, there are a lot of models that we're given, and our children are given role models.
Mm-hmm.
But our children, they don't get the clean glass. All they get is the dirty glass. So it's like when Elijah Muhammad was talking to Malcolm about, you know, the clean glass and the dirty glass. The young people are only given the dirty glass. So a lot of times they don't even have the opportunity to choose this or that. You know, they just get what they get. And whoever's the most popular, you know, whether it be on social media, whether it be on, you know, on YouTube or on television or in the movies, that's just who they get. And it's, the same people are controlling, that dissemination of information and of models. So I just look at it like, I think if they had options in terms of who they could identify with or who could be their role models, then, they might act differently, because then they might end up reading some books about these people, and they might have a different type of politics and a different type of political ideology that might come out of that.
You never know what is going to ignite that fire,
Yeah.
You never know. So it's good. It's a good thing that you're out there, and we need more of us to be out there with whether it be subtle, whether it be out there, outrageous, whatever it be. You never know what spark is going to ignite the fire in somebody's mind. You never know. I remember, I didn't learn a lot of stuff I didn't know about Black people, about the worldwide Black people, till I was in my 40s, and I read this book, The Black Jacobins, about Haiti. I never knew about Haiti being free, about Black people freeing Haiti. And that just, it turned my life around.
And that's what I'm saying. That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. So it's like, if I'm a young person today and I'm looking at the media, I'm spending time on social media, and I'm, whatever, like I'm doing what normal children do, what people do. Same thing I did when I was a teenager. And you give me, like, all you give me is Meek Mill. All you give me is the flavor of the month rapper, right? I'm gonna think that, okay, these are the role models. But if you can give me them, but then somebody else is giving me Dessalines, and then I learn about Dessalines and the Haitian Revolution. I learn about Toussaint and the Haitian Revolution. I learn about these other people. And then I'm like, so then it's like, who the people I see in the mainstream, they don't look as appealing no more.
Yes,
because I'm like, okay, so, because when you give me these people, it's like you want me to think that this is the standard for Black manhood. And you listen to the stories that they tell in the blueprint that they're giving you in their music. And this is how I'm supposed to act as a young Black male. But then I read about Dessalines and what they was doing, or, different people that led slave rebellions. Give me Nat Turner, give me Denmark Vesey, give me Gabriel Prosser, give me Charles Deslandais down in New Orleans. Give me these different people. Then I'm starting to look at things differently. Or you give me Huey Newton, right? And this is not to say that these brothers and these sisters were perfect, because they were still human, but at least we have options. So we're just not oversaturated with one type of ideology or one type of group of people, which is because their solution for, I guess the race problem, if you want to call it that, is just get rich and just get out of the hood and get away from Black people. Or in the way they come back, the way they connect with Black people is, well, let me start a nonprofit, which is just a tax shelter, and then I'll come to the hood and give out, turkeys on Thanksgiving and free toys at Christmas. And then everybody's like, oh, he loves us. He loves us. He don't love you. He only come out two times a year.
And push poison.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These ideas about glorifying ideas that are glorified, telling stories about things they may or may not have done in the past, but now they're telling the story in a way where it's not a cautionary tale. It's bragging. So then I'm a young person hearing that, I'm impressionable. I'm like, oh, I should do that too, because it sounds good and it's over a beat. And this is what people don't want to admit, because they call it.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And hey, we appreciate what you're doing. We appreciate also that you came on here to let people know what you're doing, so that for all the people who hear us tonight, hear you tonight, somebody might get that spark. One, they might look at math differently. Number two, they might realize that whatever it may help them to develop our nation a little bit further. Yeah. So we
got to, in response to that, we got to, like I said, my goal is to rebrand math. We got to change like the way math looks, like the marketing in it. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to my dad about this the other day. Like, did any of y'all see that movie, that Netflix movie? It was a Christmas time movie with Eddie Murphy and Tracy Ellis Ross, Candy Cane Lane.
No.
So anyway, there was a scene in there where, the son was doing bad in math, and, then the family ends up at a track meet because their sister, the daughter, ran track, and then the son and the daughter, of course, they go to the same high school. So then they see the son's math teacher. So again, Hollywood typical, what does the typical math teacher look like? Middle-aged white guy, you know, corny looking, lame looking white guy, right? That is the personification of math. That right there, it plays such a major role in why we don't do math. Like if basketball players look like that, we wouldn't play basketball neither.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
If the typical football player looked like that, we wouldn't play football neither.
It's not cool to speak standard English. It's not cool to speak standard English.
That's right.
You know?
Okay, we got to get out of here. We appreciate you coming on. You know, we want to let everybody know that they go to All This Math. That's a YouTube channel, right?
Right. That's
okay.
All This
Math. And they
real quick. Can I say something real quick?
Sure,
so
go ahead.
We also got a book. I forgot to mention my book for a resource for parents. It's called How to Use All This Math, Volume 1. It's only Volume 1. Volume 2 and Volume 3 will be out this year, 2024. But what this book is a way to prevent your children from ever developing any type of math anxiety, because they develop math anxiety when they don't have strong foundational math skills, and they end up going into school and get introduced to all these topics, and they feel overwhelmed, and they get hit over the head with all these new topics, new vocabulary, new terminology, all these things. So what I did in this book is I came up with everyday activities, regular everyday activities, like riding around in the car, looking at other cars' license plates, coming into the kitchen to get a snack, and I'm showing in detailed fashion how to use those activities and those everyday regular activities, nothing fancy, nothing major, to develop math skills about fractions, ratios, proportions, percentages. When you go to the gas station, pump some gas, keep your receipt, because I'm showing how to use your gas station receipt to do basic algebra, to become more comfortable with math. Because a lot of children don't have, not as many children, I'll say, have anxiety around ELA, because they're talking in the English language anyway. They're constantly talking in the English language and practicing the English language. But in a lot of households, most households, we're not having like mathematical conversations. So what the book is meant to do is a resource to help facilitate those math conversations, like on a regular basis. So definitely, you know, check it out. It's on Amazon. It's available on Amazon. How to Use All This Math, Volume 1. But don't just buy it to support. I appreciate the support, but the real support is when you buy it and actually use it and incorporate it into your daily life.
And so they can also get that on your website.
Actually, I need to update my website. So the book is not on my website.
Okay.
Because my website needs to be updated.
Okay. So they get it off of Amazon. All That Math.
All This Math, yeah.
How to Use All This Math, Volume 1.
Volume 1, yeah.
By Akil Parker.
Right.
All right, brother. Well, we appreciate it. But we're glad that you came on. We wish for you a great new year, great 2024, as you go forward and in helping our community grow and learn and get better. Appreciate it.
Brother Akil, thank you for coming on, man. See you, you know what I mean? See you, love. I know you went to Lincoln, you know, that's okay though. You know what I mean? That's okay. We're not going to talk about you too bad. But Lincoln's a great university to also, and I'm glad you came. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
Take care now.
All right.
Ooh, that was great. My goodness. My goodness. You know what? He just went up that hill, went up that mountain. You know what I'm talking about?
He's like a treasure. He's a treasure.
Right. That's right. You know,
he's a treasure.
Dug that mine. You know, he talked about himself and about math. And then he broke it down and about community. And that's right. Great. That was great.
And history.
That's right. Have we lined up anyone yet for next week?
No.
Not yet? All right. I'm sure we're going to get somebody. Who's that woman that makes that soup every week?
What woman that makes soup?
What's her name?
There's a girl that makes soup?
Yeah.
Syra?
Yeah, her.
Syra Bridgewater?
Yeah.
This the side town? The soup lady?
Yeah, maybe we gotta talk to her. Get her on here.
We can't get her on. She makes wonderful soup. She makes this oxtail soup. Oh my God.
Yeah, I meant to call her today to get me some soup because it comes out tomorrow, delicious. Right? And I don't care too much about oxtails. You know, I ain't no oxtail type person. Okay, let us get out of here because we went over again.
That's every week, Pop.
Nah, well, we have to. Well, we do what we got to do. Okay. All right, my son. Love you very much.
All right, Pop, love you too.
Love you, Sean. Dana, have a good one. And we'll see you all again next week,
Next
Thursday,
week,
8 p.m.
8 o'clock on
What
the
is that?
case with
What's that?
Kamau Kujichagulia.
11th. Okay, good night.
Peace.